Alright, this is a demo version of a game called Foolish Mortals. I'm not 100% certain when it's been released, but it looked kind of cool. Oh, interesting. Nice. Okay, I thought it would be interesting to try the demo.
They said there was a treasure on the island, its location known only by the dead. I could see it in my dreams. How was I supposed to know that in order to find it, I'd have to die too?
Spirits and specters from regions unknown, guide to me the wanderer who searches alone. Well, welcome back, Murphy McCallan. Have you found all 5 ingredients for the spell?
I found 3 so far. Only 2 are left, the chalk and the coffin nails.
Hurry. The island will lead you to that which you seek. I have no doubt about that.
Oh, I can comment. Cool. Wow, that was a really long intro. And also, probably the way you could actually have a thought that you'd have to be dead to find a treasure is in the notes that only the dead ones know where it is. And why do I feel like I'm starting like in the middle of the game? You already found 3 clues without me? Rude. Like, I know it took me a while to find a demo for this game, but could have waited. Also graphic. I love it. I think it's really, really cool. Okay, how will the spell help me find the lost treasures of Bellamont Manor? Do you know what happens to the Bellamont Manor? How am I going to find a spell ingredient? I'm going to finish finding the voodoo ingredients.
How am I going to find the spell ingredients?
Everything I've ever needed for my voodoo spells, I have found on this island. It's as though this island pulls the supernatural to it. Keep searching. Once that's complete, I will show you the final step of the spell.
How will the spell help me find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor?
There are things on this island that have gone unseen. Stories that have been left unheard. At least to mortals. I commune with regions beyond. Let me introduce you to a friend. Out of the shadows, the cursed and the damned, return now my servant to do my command.
I have returned to you, Master.
Loa, this gentleman wishes to find the lost treasure of Belmore Manor. Tell him how this can be done.
Only inhabitants of the house know where the treasure lies. Their spirits still within its walls, trapped between life and death. To ask them, those spirits must be revealed on the mortal plane.
And that is what our spell will do, Murphy. A summoning spell to unveil the ghosts trapped within the house.
5 ingredients place inside, tie closed, and then unseal. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
Once you've collected all 5, we can summon the ghosts of Belmore Manor. Once we've summoned the ghosts, we can ask them exactly where the treasure was hidden. You have served me, Loa. Begone!
Do you know what happened at Belmore Manor?
You want to hear a ghost story, Murphy McCallan?
I want to know everything I can about that house.
Then listen closely. Dark magic runs throughout Belmore Manor. The house was built by the Belmore brothers, 3 merchants from England who made their fortune trading across the Caribbean. Xavier Belmore, an explorer, Yardley Belmore, an actor, and Cecil Belmore, a scientist. Their parents dead for many years. They each loved and cared for their young sister, Abigail. Abigail met a young sailor who worked aboard one of her brother's ships. And in less than a year, he proposed. The engagement was a scandal. Despite having the pick of any eligible bachelor in high society, her hand and the Belmore fortune was to go to a commoner. Because of their unconditional love for their young sister, the Belmore brothers sanctioned the marriage. But people began to wonder if Abigail was being locked into marriage, whether by blackmail or black magic. The grand wedding was planned by the 3 proud brothers, but in the months leading up to the wedding, each of the brothers, one by one, was lost, presumed dead. And yet the wedding was still to go ahead. And with Abigail set to inherit the Belmore fortune once she came of age, many people began to wonder whether the sailor was not a perpetrator, but a pawn. On the morning of the wedding, the sailor was summoned to her chambers. "I don't love you," Abigail declared. "I never loved you." And to everyone gathered in the house, Abigail declared that that same evening, she would marry another, John Rackham, first officer of the Belmore Trading Company, would be her new groom. Except that didn't happen. On the night of the wedding, everyone in the house suddenly and mysteriously vanished. Perhaps the last revenge of the scorned sailor. The house that night held a heart that would be broken, a victim who would be tricked, and a force that would unleash evil. But no one knows exactly who each was. If you want to find the treasure, Murphy, you'll have to find out.
Well, that was interesting.
I'm going to finish finding the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
Part 1. The Summoning Spell. I love the graphics. Yay! We're in business. Taxidermated fish.
I took the taxidermied fish from the rotting wooden frame.
Thank you for letting me know. Care to tell me why? That crane. What did you do that for? Do it again. Alright. So I'm suspecting because he's saying welcome back Murphy and stuff, it's not the first game about him, but I've never seen games about Murphy before.
I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked.
Just do it Nancy Drew style. It's locked. Not like I jiggled the handle. Okay, we can go to island. And that's it. Okay. Let's go to the island. Oh, okay. Spirit Queen. Where are we? Like, where's the boat? Can I go to the question marks? Ah, the Spirit Queen is the boat. Okay. Let's go here. Hi there. I'm assuming that's my coffin. Gravedigger. Why is it? Am I gonna off him? Why is this simple like that? I can look at this and I can dagger you. Okay. Tin can.
The tin was empty.
Okay. Stove.
I didn't need to do anything with the stove, and would have probably burnt my hands if I tried. The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it.
Yeah, well, we just watched it being securely nailed down, so.
Hello.
Ah, consarn it! Don't sneak up on people like that. You
saw
frightened
me
the dying
coming.
daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy?
I thought you were those pesky kids again.
Kids don't seem like a reason to be scared.
Oh, be here.
They're little terrors. I'm sure they're gonna give me a heart attack. Last week they showed up with a doctor's note they forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo, just like those kids will be if I get my hands on them.
Okay, well, let's introduce ourselves.
My name's Murphy McAllen. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle, gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Another treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are meant to be here.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
I think it's important to leave the dead to rest in peace.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the three brothers went missing, right?
In an entire
Well,
mention.
if you ask me, I think Abigail Belmore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Those are some pretty serious allegations.
Just a feeling, that's all. I don't have any evidence. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things. People killed in mysterious circumstances. Like you can tell when someone's sneaking up behind you.
You actually seem to have trouble with that.
Wise guy.
I was about to say that, like you didn't. Also, like, if she used a sailor to off her brothers, then why would she just dump him? Is she that certain that he wouldn't rat her out?
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, mustn't he? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think the sailor did to get his revenge?
Nobody knows. But in his contracts to the Caribbean, he could have come across something fiendish. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. And to tell you the truth, I'm quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they'd not disappeared, it would be this old fool who'd have had to bury them. Saved me a good amount of work.
Man of passion.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't got any to spare. I have to buy these out of my own pocket. Do you know how much the parish gives me per burial nowadays? A pittance. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. I'm telling you, undertaking's a dying business.
Did we need coffin nails? Ow, I mislistened to that. I thought we needed the coffin.
Have you ever accidentally buried someone who is still alive?
Not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help? Desperate shaking of the coffin?
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting away with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
I wouldn't think that's your job to make sure that the body's dead.
Do you not find working in a graveyard a little eerie?
Why would it be eerie?
I don't know. Ghosts, maybe?
I don't like to think about ghosts.
Why not?
Because they'd be bad for business. I have my work cut out here with the dead as it is. Imagine if they came back asking for a refund.
Hey, you didn't bury me nicely.
What are you working on?
This is just a pauper's coffin the parish is funding. Lock 'em in lumber, leave 'em to slumber. That's what I call it. No frills. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Why are you out here working so late?
The funerals take place in the morning, and I prefer to be tucked up in my bed. I don't like those early funerals. I'm not a morning person.
Haha. Oh my god, are we ever gonna stop
Did
chatting?
the coffin just move?
Don't even joke about that.
Well, considering it's a 2D picture, I don't think so.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else adding to my to-do list.
I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for.
Fair enough. Seriously, I really like this graphic. Ooh,
I scanned the headstones for anything.
okay, yeah, got it. Oh, awesome. We can move here. Okay. That you
I scanned.
Yeah. Got it. We don't know what we're searching for. Don't know why I'm holding my hand on WASDs. Clearly don't need it. Oh, no, wait. Doesn't even say where we're going. Okay. Crypt.
I couldn't see any way to open it.
Let's It's annoying me that this isn't unaligned. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming from this way we somehow skip that. Oh. Interesting. Ooh.
Framed by trees and lit by moonlight, Belmore Manor stood imposingly in the still night air. Even without lights on, it felt like something inside the house was calling me, or warning me.
Mm-hmm. What's in the water?
I wasn't going to wade into the pond.
Just look at it. What are you doing?
I scanned the house for a way in, perhaps an unlocked door or window, but my search was without luck.
So, you can come closer. Then what's the path? Is it to go to the left? Hold on, door.
With a deep breath, I took hold of the door handle of the house I'd been thinking about for months and turned it. Unsurprisingly, it was locked. I briefly considered breaking into the house, but unsure of just how true the ghost stories were, decided it was better to not risk angering any spirits that may have been in there. If I was getting in, I was going to need the key.
Right. I'm assuming you're going that way. I'm also wondering if you could actually just walk to the right. Ah! Right. Okay. Interesting. So back to the island here, there's a furniture. And a horseshoe.
From the gathering moss and rust, it was clear the patio set hadn't been used in decades.
Take that.
So much for good luck.
Oh, pick it up.
I picked up the horseshoe that assaulted me. It was heavy, very heavy.
Do you have a concussion? You okay? What's the inventory, by the way? Ah, there you go. Oh, look. We have a magazine. We have grease. Whatever hell that is. We have a manuscript, a bottle, and, well, the fish and, horseshoe. Okay, we can just go here. Wow, that's a beautiful full moon. Just to check there's nothing else in here. Yeah. Oh, there. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait. No, that's where we came from. Never mind. I see.
Walking into the port town of Dead Nettle, I could sense its history in every stone, brick, and plank. Echoes of merchant ships loading and unloading all manner of cargo from expeditions throughout the Caribbean. Golden treasure that may still lie hidden on the island.
Let's try this door.
I tried the door. It was locked.
Okay. There's probably no point of oh, no. I'm in here. Ah, nice. I can actually make him hurry up if I click. I'm on board. I can go to there. Come here. Let's look at paper theater.
Gruff mumbles emanated from inside the puppet theater. Obviously, preparation for tonight's show was already underway.
Noisy seagulls. So we can go to Archway, we can go to this way.
The poster advertised billiards at the Captain's Club, with 3 billiard balls and 2 cues framing a cube of billiard chalk.
Nice. We need a chalk, right? Wreck. Ooh!
There was no
hello.
way to get out to the wreck, and from how decayed it looked, no reason to get out to the wreck either.
We can go that way and this way. Why do I suspect like if we go here, we're just gonna come out from there? I can go to the docks. There's a notice board, there's out back to the island, and let's talk to this guy.
Are the fish biting?
You okay?
Well, not so well today, to tell the truth. They must have been spooked by something. But you should have seen them yesterday. I was having to fight them off the rod. The name's Ned Kipps, by the way. Just Kipps to my friends.
I'm Murphy McAllen.
Nice to meet you, Mac. What are you doing on this old rock anyway? I haven't seen you around before. Here on vacation?
I guess you could say that.
Then you got worse judgment than an arm wrestler squaring up to a kraken. Hope you don't regret it.
Me too. What's that book you're reading?
The Louisiana Book of Records. There's this fish called a pinkoza that swims around these parts. Delicious barbecue. And you're looking at the fella that's caught the heaviest pinkoza ever weighed at the Dead Nettle Docks. Now I'm looking to see if it's a state record, maybe even national, or a world record.
That's some achievement.
Oh, it was. Got my photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything.
What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the Captain's Club. They fancy them up with lemon lobster, slawfish something or other. Fools. Everyone knows the best way to cook them is to barbecue them. But then again, I haven't eaten in that place my whole life.
Why not?
I don't have a captain's license, so they won't let me in.
Don't you have a fishing boat?
Now, I used to. The Petit Pichet. But they don't count it if it doesn't have a crew.
What happened to it?
That's it across the harbor with its bow sticking out the water. It was the strangest thing. There I was, fishing just out in the bay, when a sea serpent comes out the water, wraps itself around the boat. Well, I was going to be a goner. Jabbed my fishing pole right in its beady eye, throttled the motor, and managed to make it back to shore just as the hull went under. It's lucky I made it out alive.
That's a pretty tall tale.
I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
It was clear that Ned had a penchant for fanciful stories. He told them with such vigor, I think he'd convinced himself they were true. I'm looking for the lost treasure of Belmore
Just
Manor.
gonna tell everyone.
Well, I've heard a tall tale or two, but even I'm not spending my time looking for that. It's been lost for 30 years now.
Lost means it's still ready for finding.
I've traveled every waterway on this island, and I haven't even seen a hint of it. It could be at the bottom of the ocean for all I know. And I've found a few treasures in my time. French treasure, British treasure, pirate treasure, but no Belmo treasure.
Do you still have those treasures?
Well, I had to hide them again. Give someone else a chance to find it. I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
That's your catchphrase, isn't it? Honestly, Murphy's like a 4-year-old. He's gonna tell to anyone who would listen what he wants to do.
What do you know about the disappearance at Belmore Manor?
Now there's a tale to tell. You know about Miss Belmore? The bride engaged to the sailor? I heard she was having an affair, getting up to no good with this fellow called John Rackham. He was one of the Belmore Company's higher-ups. Anyway, sailor catches wind of it and tricks Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what caused everything to go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
Call me a liar, but there are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Is that what you think caused the disappearance?
What else could it be?
True.
What can you tell me about Miss Belmore?
Ah, Abigail. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy. Seems like such a nice girl, too. Until the affair. It seems so unlike her.
What about the sailor?
Don't know much about him. Never met the fella. I never got involved in the dock work, to tell the truth. Always preferred to sit with my fishing pole and fend for myself. We all figured that Abigail being in love with him and everything. He must have been fine folk. I think we were wrong. Poor Rackham, though. He was wronger still. I'm a business guy myself. Get the product, sell the product. Nothing wrong with bringing home the bacon. But he brought back trouble, and he paid the price.
I suppose it was a mistake for him to get involved with Abigail.
It's risky mixing business and pleasure.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac. That's for weighing fish. No one's going to beat my record.
Are we gonna get like a fishing rod? Can I give you a fish?
What do you think of my fish?
That's a whopper. Hang it on the scales and see how much it weighs. Doubt it'll beat my record, though.
I hung the fish on the scales.
Nice try, Mac, but it's going to need to be heavier than that to beat my record.
I wonder.
With the ripped seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermied fish. Now it was heavy.
Ah.
That didn't work.
Well. Yeah, okay. Let's try.
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You've been holding back on me. That breaks my record.